Alright guys, Bears preview video week 4, but before we do get into that, I am joined by Zach in person. He has officially moved to Tempe, meaning there will be a lot more in-person videos. That is also why this video is coming out on a Wednesday and not a Tuesday. There's no room, we fucked up!
After last week, there have been reports Matt Nagy's job is in very much trouble if he loses this game to the Lions, and as it should be.
Zach, I'm willing to trade a loss on Sunday for Nagy being fired on Monday. That is where I'm at right now. I think, both you and I would agree. We've watched a lot of football, right? Lots of football has been watched. I have never seen anything offensively like last Sunday versus the Browns. That was, I assume, what hell must feel like. I want an apology from Matt Nagy when he is fired for wasting 4 years of Bears football and wasting incredible defenses. But anyways, all right, enough ranting. That's for another video. Week 4, this is going to be our first divisional matchup of the season. I think this is one of those games that's a total toss-up right now. The Lions are a gritty team. They might not be the most talented roster in the world, but they play hard, and that starts with their head coach, Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Motor City Dan Campbell, as he's been nicknamed by a couple people in media and everything. But, I mean, it's just, the Lions aren't an 0-3 team. If you actually watch their game, they lost to the Ravens on a 66-yard field goal.
Even as Bears fans, I felt bad for the Lions. Exactly. That was the most Lions thing of all time.
But they could get a couple pieces on the offense. I mean, that defense is shaky at times, but it's not a bad defense.
Yeah, they had a really close game. They had an epic comeback that fell short against the 49ers. And then they outplayed Green Bay in the first half. And in the second half, Green Bay took over. But that Ravens game, they should have won. I think they gave up like a 4th and 18. And then, of course, the record-setting kick by Justin Tucker. Now, I think a really important thing to talk about here is the fact that Matt Nagy has basically come out and said that as of right now, again, we're recording this on a Tuesday, Justin Fields, Nick Foles, or Andy Dalton could all start. They're all under consideration, which I would just like to say, if Nick Foles does start, I am not waking up at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning to watch Nick Foles play football. We've seen that. We've been through that, and I refuse to go through that again.
Yeah, not only that, but it also came out today that the Bears held tryouts for 3 quarterbacks as well that I personally don't even remember hearing their names in the NFL before. And the fact that we're trying out quarterbacks while we already have 3 quarterbacks already on the roster.
Why are we not trying out offensive linemen? That's what I want to know. Why are we dealing with quarterbacks? Now, here's the thing, guys, okay? The Bears, because of last week, and even before that, they were still in the bottom half, but we rank last in every single major statistic on offense outside of rushing yards. Shout out to David Montgomery. The offensive line was just awful last week. As long as it's less than 9 sacks, I guess it's an improvement, right?
Yeah, and I mean, another thing, not even just like the sacks, obviously that's important, like a big part, but the fact that Justin Fields had a solid 0.98 seconds, I think it was, to throw a ball before somebody was in his face within arm's length. I think I saw that stat. Is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, obviously the Cleveland Browns front is no joke with Myles Garrett and Clowney. They got a great defense. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that you allow 9 sacks, your quarterback has 0.9 seconds to throw the ball, it's just absolutely ridiculous in the NFL.
Yeah, as for the Lions on defense, Trey Flowers did not play last week. He's dealing with multiple injuries. He is their best run defender and one of the best defenders on all of that team. They lost Okuda, their starting cornerback, a couple weeks ago, so they're banged up. At this point in time, without any clarity in who's going to be starting at quarterback, I have no idea what to expect with our offense.
Yeah, I mean, the defense last week, we can hold high on that for us. The defense looked really well.
No, it did.
The only factor, they obviously let a couple plays go, but I mean, that's what happens when you're out on the field for over two-thirds of the game because your offense can't do anything. Like, that was a recipe last year where the offense just couldn't do anything and Bears defense was gassing. That's how we lost a couple games.
Yeah, the Bears gave up 13 points through the first 3 quarters. Like, there's only so much you can do. Robert Quinn's got 4 sacks. Klumak's got 3 sacks. We're getting pressure. If we can get Eddie Goldman back, they can really tighten up the run defense. I was content with the safeties. We didn't have Deshaun. There was a couple plays here and there. Odell made some nice plays. 3rd down, we were all right. There was a couple, that last drive before half where we had like the 3rd and 5, where they had the 3rd and 5 on their own 10 or 15. If we could have gotten stopped there, That led to a touchdown, but like you said, the defense was out there for so long. You can only expect so much.
Exactly.
And now finally, as we look at the Lions offense, no Tyrell Williams still, their number one wide receiver, but DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson are dynamic and have been their two best players on offense. I think their offensive line is also really, really underrated. It's super young and it's only going to get better. And Jared Goff is kind of Jared Goff. Like,
Yeah.
he's a good enough quarterback to be, to win games.
No, exactly. That's what he is. Jared Goff is a quarterback you put out there and you know you have a chance to win. He's not going to go put up like the 350 passing yards, rush for 100, but he's the kind of guy, and like this fits well with him, the TJ Hawkinson pairing, boy from Iowa. But I mean, Goff is like TJ is the perfect guy for Jared Goff, where he's able to go deep if needed, but then also run slants, get the hooks, get those yards, get Jared Goff's confidence going with a couple plays. He's just. This Lions offense is very underrated with a lot of people overlooking it just because they got rid of Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff comes in. But I think it's better than when Stafford was here.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Anthony Lynn is... Some coaches are just better off as coordinators, and I think that's what Anthony Lynn is. He's been fantastic for them as their offensive coordinator. And, Zach, it's one of those things where... Normally, like the Lions, right, I've been very confident going to games because for some reason, Mitchell Trubisky was phenomenal. That was like the only team that you knew Mitchell was going to get the job done. So now that we don't have Trubisky, the Lions, I feel like they're due a win. As much as I hate to say it, that does scare me. This game is going to be tough. It's a divisional game. I like the fact that it's at home. But I still think this is going to be a tall task for the Chicago Bears, especially after how poor last week was. We're going to see what this locker room is made of, see if they really want to play for Nagy. So I'm going to ask you, Zach, score predictions Sunday, Detroit. What are you thinking?
The Bears, hammer down, they are going to win the game 23-17.
Okay.
And that is if Justin Fields starts.
Okay. So
I want to put an emphasis on that's if Fields starts.
What if Andy Dalton starts?
That's a win also, but closer. If Nick Foles starts, that's a loss. I'm not I'll probably watch, but I'm not I'm not going to be excited. But Justin Fields starts, it's a win.
There you guys go. Anyways, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do drop a subscription. Again, check out the live reactions. They drop after the games every single Sunday. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.